What about King David? I had another know-nothing pastor in my live yesterday, and he was arguing against the gospel, and he was saying, what about King David? Which I get a lot, but it kind of blows my mind that somebody who calls himself a pastor and went to seminary doesn't understand the whole point of Jesus. David was a sinner. He was still sinning. He committed adultery with Bathsheba. He murdered Uriah. He was a sinner, just like everyone else in the Old Testament. Abraham was a liar. Noah was a drunk. So when we read in Hebrews, we see that righteousness was accounted unto them because of their faith. Their faith in what? The Messiah. They were looking forward to the promise of the Christ. Luke 1:74 and 75, that he would grant unto us that we, being delivered out of the hand of our enemies, the devil, might serve him without fear, in holiness and righteousness before him all the days of our life. Being able to live a life of righteousness and holiness was the whole point of the Messiah. All of the prophecies looking forward to Jesus were showing that it was going to come, where he would take out our stony heart and give us a new perfect heart. They couldn't be born again in the Old Testament because nobody could be born again before Jesus. Jesus is the first of many brethren. He's the first begotten of the dead. He's the first to resurrect from the dead. He takes the preeminence in everything. But that's not physical, that's spiritual. Many people were raised from the dead before Jesus physically, but nobody became sin and died and raised again sin-free. That's Jesus showing the pattern of what we're supposed to do when we crucify ourselves once and for all and get born again, and he saves us from ever sinning again. What about the thief on the cross? People throw that at me too. Well, the thief on the cross wasn't born again. Just like everybody else in the Old Covenant, he was looking forward to the promise of the Messiah. He saw him right there beside him, and he knew, I want to be with you. So Jesus said, today you'll be with me in paradise. Well, did Jesus go up first? No, Jesus descended down to hell, Abraham's bosom, not hell, but that's what paradise is. That was the holding place for David, for Abraham, for Moses, for all those guys in the Old Testament, and I argue probably all the Gentiles too, all the guys who were looking forward to the promise of the Christ. And that was when Jesus preached to them and said, hey, it's me, I'm the Christ, and they could receive him. But they didn't get born again yet because nobody could be born again before Jesus. So please, y'all, stop listening to know-nothing pastors who went to seminary and they have a degree and they are clueless about the gospel. They don't know the first thing about the Bible, ever learning, never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. They are principalities of darkness and clouds without water.